Good morning, folks. Welcome back to Feni for the Soul. We are in sporting mode. We continue to be on sporting mode after our Goa River Marathon series. And this time, my guest is Lorraine More, who, along with her son Rohan, runs this very popular Japaloop equestrian center in Talegaon near Pune. But Lorraine is now more famous for being the Asian Masters best lifter. She's a power lifter. She's just recently won 8 gold medals, not 1, not 2, but 8 gold medals for India in the Asian Masters Powerlifting Championship held in Istanbul, Turkey. I'm going to get started by asking Lorraine some very basic questions. So Lorraine, please tell us how and why did you choose powerlifting as a sport?
Hi Rahul, good morning, and happy to be here on your program, Feni for the Soul. I've listened to it a few times and I really like what you do. I'm honored to be here and to share my story with your viewers. So your question was, how did I
how did started? You, and I wanted to tell the guests also that, Lorraine is 66 years young, and you can see how youthful and sprightly she is. And she's a huge role model for all of us. And not just people in Talegaon and Pune, but now across India. So, Lorraine, the question was, how did you and why did you choose powerlifting?
Powerlifting was something which was furthest from my mind. I've always been, of course, a very fit person because my work is such. I'm always out on my feet. I've been conscious about staying fit, and that's
I'm sharing a photograph of you with your granddaughters, and there's some link to powerlifting from here.
Right. So that is actually what you're watching, where I seriously started powerlifting, because I used to find my arms would ache having to pick both these little cuties. They both wanted to be picked up by me at the same time. There's barely 9 months difference between the two of them. So carrying both of them, my arms would ache and I would say, oh my gosh, I really need stronger arms. And by and by, my son Rohan once just explained to me, Mom, it is important to develop strength in your body and strength in your bones, getting better bone mass. And he gave me a lot of info about the pluses. At that point, I had, at least I think a year back, had a fracture on my ankle. And when I was in hospital, the doctors were chatting with me and said, but that is one of the most common things which happens with women and people over 60, more women, because women are giving birth to babies and their bone density does get compromised, right? So they said it's a very, very common thing. Ma'am, don't worry about it. But I thought to myself, what can I do about it to help myself get stronger? And I remembered Rohan's words. And then Rohan came back again, full force to explain how important it is to develop bone density. And as you grow older, even more important. And I said, okay, I understand. And all that makes sense. But starting something like this early in life is one thing. But starting at my age, 64. And at 64, someone who's never been in a gym all her life, I've done yoga and stuff like that. Sorry, my dog is wanting to be part of this.
He wants to be in the interview.
This is my Rottweiler Zelda. So I said, it's one thing getting into these kind of stuff when you're younger, but at my age, so he said, don't worry about that. I have the perfect team who are K11 fitness trainers. This is OmFit Lifestyle. And OmFit, the owner, is a good friend of Rohan's. So he said, Omkar himself will come and train you and me, because Rohan, being a diabetic at that time and wanting to lose weight, also wanted to get into strength training. So Omkar would come and train both mother and son. And he found that very charming. And then one day he asked me, Ma'am, you don't mind me asking, what's your age? I said 64. He's saying, I am going to convince Rohan to convince you that you have to start, you should go for the competition coming up next month. I said, listen, guys, I've been okay with just doing this, but competition, I don't know. Enough chabi marred me, and I said, okay, let's give it a shot. I did it just to humor them, to tell you honestly. But when I went there and I saw the way people looked at me with respect, the way the younger girls were respectful that me at my age, I was doing something like this. And of course, I got the gold. So all the adulation and the admiration for what I did. After that, I didn't need anyone coaxing me. After that, I went for the states. I went for the nationals. I picked up gold with everything. So that's the path that set me on.
Wonderful. So, Lorraine, I want you to tell us about that first gold medal that you won, in
Yes.
powerlifting. There's a photograph I want to share and, tell us a little about, this lovely photograph of you winning your very first gold medal. So how was that experience? Run us through that experience.
Sure. That's my two sons in the background, okay? Rohan and Nikhil. And they both have been my pillars of strength. In that picture, it's really showing that. These are both my sons there standing with me and cheering me on. They've always encouraged me to the point of buying me the right outfit, making sure I'm wearing the right shoes. The best thing that they can manage to get for me, they have got me. And they've supported me all through this, okay? So my first experience was like, I was nervous. I was with all these young people who were lifting fabulous, huge weights. And here I was doing my very modest stuff. But everyone kept saying to me, but ma'am, the very fact that you at this age, you're doing this, that's the great thing. And my trainers told me, ma'am, you have it in you and we are going to get you to do even more. And as you go further, it's going to be more, you're going to get stronger and you'll be able to do more weights. But that first competition was enlightening.
Wonderful.
The fact that you have to be in a competition zone, you have to be focused, all that, so it was very enlightening.
Fantastic. So, Lorraine, we just discussed some time back the importance of a good training team, and I have a lovely photograph of your entire training team. I'll show that and tell us why it is important to have a good training team, coaching team, and how hard you have trained, towards your Asian Masters. I'll show some photographs first. This is your wonderful team,
Yes.
you have your big coach, Girish,
on the left,
extreme left, and then the team OMFIT, the OMFIT team from Talegaon. I presume OMFIT is from Talegaon, right?
No, OMFIT is in Pune. So they are all, the person on my left is Omkar. He's the founder, director of OMFIT.
Okay.
So that's Omkar. And his team is of about 26, I think, or 27 people now. And they are all absolutely educated K11 trainers. Very scientifically, they manage me. And they have taken into account my age and making sure that I don't get any injuries along the way of my training program. Ensure that my diet is correct according to my age, how much my body can manage. And don't treat me like a 30-year-old. And then there was Girish Binjwe, my senior coach. He was the one who fine-tuned me with everything needed to be in a competition.
Yeah, I'm showing these lovely videos. That's Lorraine training in
who's training me there.
Come on, ma'am. Lorraine, 80 kilos. 80 kilos.
And now this is Girish speaking to me.
Strong lift.
This was just before my competition.
Asian meet, Lorraine ma'am. Chalo. Start. Up. Lovely. One more. Chalo. Fire up. Second rep, 80 kilos. Lovely. Bas.
Slightly better. This side. Better. Slightly in. Yes. Breathe. Shoulder tight. Go. Take a deep breath. Start. Press. Rack.
So that's fascinating, the videos. Thank you for sending it to us. So, everyone has surely got an idea of how much hard work goes into training. And I'm happy you spoke about your training team. So very clearly, this combination of Girish Binjway's G99 team and the OMFIT team. You've got two, like, double engines helping you, literally. So, so then in terms of how many months did you train before you went to Turkey for the Asian Masters?
Run up to the Asians was about 2 months, 1.5 to 2 months. But starting from my starting point till where I am today, it's been 2 years.
2 years.
So these things are always a slow and steady progress, obviously, and with me, slow, because as you grow older, you cannot make big jumps in what you're doing. You have to listen to your body. You have to be conscious that your body systems are not running the way a young person's would. Strangely, having said that, I will say today, I feel way stronger than I was in my 30s, because I feel I've never tapped into developing that kind of strength that I have tapped into for the last 2 years. And it's only been thanks to my team who have walked me through the whole process in the right manner and in a scientific way. So Girish has been there to give me that power and push and make me sure that I have that edge when I go out there on the international competition stage, which is a very scary thing, let me tell you. So he was there to give me that confidence that I should be able to do that. And OMFIT and that whole OMFIT team were like with me constantly. Even when I was in Istanbul, they were talking to me. They were discussing things with me. They gave me stretches online while I was in my hotel, because my hotel didn't even have a gym. So they were with me constantly. And I think that makes the biggest difference. My family being with me all the time, encouraging me and telling me, you've got this, mom, you've got this, you're going to do it. So all that made a lot of difference to me.
Wonderful. So Lorraine, I'm going to shift to Istanbul directly, really, because I want to know how the feeling was of winning not 1, not 2, like I said, 8 gold medals, So this is Lorraine at the Asian Masters in Istanbul, Turkey, being a bench press. Fascinating. So that was that Istanbul video clip, and I have a photo of you with the medals, and that you. So Lorraine, tell us, what is supported powerlifting and what is unsupported powerlifting, because you competed in different events, and and how is it possible to get multiple medals in these events?
Okay, so supported, the actual word for it is equipped. So it's equipped and classic. Now, classic bench press is where you have no other aid except for the aid you are allowed to have. A certain kind of knee brace, a certain kind of wristband, a certain kind of belts which are used to help you, only that. The other one, which is equipped, you are allowed to wear a different costume. The costume itself is made of a very different kind of material that actually helps you with making you lift more than what you normally would. So that's the big difference between the equipped and the classic. I am a person who I did not, in all the time that I have been competing in India, I never went into the equipped scene at all. I found it looking a very uncomfortable scenario to manage it even. And though my coach wanted me to do it, I was not for it. But when I went to Turkey, my coach said, listen, you must give both things a shot. And it will be good for you. You're anyway going to be out there on the international stage. Why don't you try both the things? I was not comfortable with that different suit, but he made me wear it and practice with it for a few times before I went. So I did that. And so when I was on the stage there with that suit, it's a little awkward, but I did well. And the strange thing was, because that was my first event, I should have hit much better, higher numbers with the equip, because it gives you some help, right? Strangely, in my first, I was a little nervous and I kept all my goals a little lower. you're supposed to write and give each lift that you're going to do. You have to write and give it within a few seconds. And you cannot be late with anything over there. That was a different thing entirely, my whole experience there on that stage. But when I gave the lifts, I wrote down very conservative numbers. I was being a little cautious. But after I did well, I said, oh my God, I could have done way more. That felt too easy. So what happened was when I went into the classic, where I had no help from any extra equipment or my extra gear, I was just wearing my normal suit, Inzer suit. And there I realized, but I was feeling so empowered. I was feeling so confident that I did even better. I lifted even better than I did with my equipped. That was a strange thing with me. All my team were laughing. So
yeah, tell us how much you, Lorraine, we are interested to know how much you lifted, because, you know, see, you weigh, I think you're in the 68 kilo category or something, isn't it? And
the category is always mentioned as the top upper limit. So I'm in the 63 kilo category. The lowest limit is 57. So my weight is 59. So I'm like just in a nice, comfortable, sweet spot. That if I drop a kilo, it doesn't matter. If I gain a kilo, it doesn't matter. I don't have to be stressed about the weight that I'm putting on. But I saw a lot of athletes there, they stress about 400 grams and 200 grams. And that's the way it is. Because if you have entered your name in a particular category, weight category, you cannot change that. You cannot change that going there at the venue and saying, no, I want to go for the lower category. You can't, because you are set. The other competitors have checked you out in their weight category, what the competition is. So you cannot change, right? So I found that being in this place was the thing that worked best for me in this competition.
So Lorraine, I think you, from what reports I have read, you lifted 165 kgs in one category, and was it
that I lifted is your question? Sure. So the weight that I lifted in my equipped was 165, but the weight I lifted in my classic was 170. I went more than that. And actually speaking, I can do 185. Wow. But out there, I was just being cautious that I wanted to get all my medals. I wanted, more importantly, not to make a single error. So a lot of people who were there, there would be a no lift. Like the judges have a white thing, like a lollipop, a white big lollipop and a red lollipop. If you make a mistake, the red goes up. And then you hear that shout, no lift. That is something I didn't want to hear. So I was focusing on doing every single lift technically correct, and that I should not get a no lift from a single judge. There are 3 judges checking you out. One stands behind, one sits behind, 2 sit forward. All the lifts are monitored by 3 judges. So wow. All my lifts got the white lollipop, and that for me was good. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, you know, I was very keen to also know your weekly training schedule, because, you know, you were telling me how, I think 6 days of the week you're busy doing something or the other. And please tell us about the cross training that you do, because there's a bit of yoga also that comes in. So, you know, the importance of cross training. I'll show a photograph possibly of, yeah, you carry on and I'll show a photograph.
Okay. So I train with Umfit 3 times a week. I have my personal trainer who comes all the way from Pune to Talegaon, because there's a very nice gym not far from our farm called Big Bang Fitness. It's a huge gym. And I go and use it in the afternoons when there's not too many crowds happening there and the loud pumping music, which I can't deal with. So I go in the quiet time, which is afternoon, and I train 3 times a week with my strength training. Then there is twice a week Iyengar yoga, which is pretty hectic yoga. Okay, that is quite strenuous, and it's not the very quiet kind of yoga. It really does a lot, puts a lot into you. So Iyengar is twice, 3 times a week is that. And the occasional time I would go to G99 and train at Girish Pinjway's gym over there, especially before competitions is when I go to Girish. And I anyway do a lot of other stuff besides yoga by way of going jogging on my farm with all my 7 dogs with me. So that is a morning thing I do. I do pranayam. And one day in the week, I do some kind of cardio workout, which again, OmFit tells me what I should do. Yeah, that picture is of one of my yoga days. I'm hanging, okay? It doesn't look like I'm hanging there, but I'm hanging on that. You're supposed to suspend yourself like that upside down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. On the ropes, and you just got that towel as a cushion. Yeah.
Correct. That just to help the
this is classic Iyengar yoga. Yeah. So you've been doing Iyengar yoga for many years now, Lorraine?
Actually, Rahul, I had started Iyengar yoga when I was in my early 30s, and I did it for about a year then, going to the institute.
Yeah.
And then since then till now, it's been a whole 25-year gap that I did nothing other than do my own little stretches and pranayam and some stuff on my own. But I restarted Iyengar yoga when I started my strength training, because I felt I needed more flexibility, and flexibility is important. A lot of strength training people and powerlifting people don't focus on that, but that is a message I want to spread out to everyone who are also in the sport, and even those who aren't, that flexibility is very, very important. You must focus on flexibility as well. So that cardio workout is needed by way of cross training and flexibility by way of yoga. I think that makes the perfect combination.
Wonderful.
Works for me.
Yeah, no, I think it's an excellent message. Yeah, because cross training is very important, and yoga is immensely important. I can tell you as being an athlete myself. So finally, what is your fitness message for women, and especially women above 50 years of age? I want some message from you so that they get encouraged to do workout.
In fact, one of the reasons I'm really in this whole thing is to spread this good word. That, look at me, if I could at 64 jump into a full new scenario, like being in a gym pumping iron, which is a very scary thought to most people. And women tend to think, oh, you're pumping iron, you're going to get those big, huge male muscles. No, you don't need to get those big male muscles. You can just be a nice, strong, healthy woman, which I am. Look at me. So that is the message that I really want to say, that you can start no matter how late you want to start. If you have got yourself in that mindset that, hey, I must do something. I must do something to keep my health and make sure that I'm not going to be, helpless. Today, I feel wonderful because I can move the pot from here to there. I don't have to call my man to do that for me or get for help for small things, lift a suitcase from the top, bring it down to load it up if I have to travel, move something from here to there. I'm doing all these things myself. That is so empowering. Women talk about empowerment. I mean, look at physical empowerment. Come on, don't just talk about empowerment. Do something. That's my message. All of us should be able to do some small step in that direction and then take off from there. Take off, because it's possible. And it's never, ever too late to start. You can start once you decide in your mind, and the mind plays a very, very big role here. Keep yourself in that right mindset that this is possible, firstly. And secondly, how much good it's going to do to you. Why not do something and enrich your life? I mean, if it's something simple like this, and you don't have to spend that much time. I'm not spending so much time with my fitness regime. I'm including it. I'm running a full-fledged business. So I have to pay attention to that. I'm a full-fledged grandmom. I have to pay attention to that. And when you have children, they never stop being your children. So you got to pay attention there. You can do all that and keep your fitness regime going. That's my biggest message to everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lorraine. So nice talking to you and catching up with you.
Same here, Rahul.
Yeah, over this Zoom call. In these pandemic times, we are now stuck to Zoom sessions and online discussions. But nevertheless, wonderful catching up, and all the best to you, and keep inspiring all of us.
I love being here. Thank you.
Bye.